So you're gonna run into some different costs. We're talking about those today. Everything from your hotel to your flight to your food. These things can be very pricey. Conferences are one way to get a lot of value though and advance your skill sets and learn more and help the clients that you serve. So today,
this is the hour, the darkest place. Dante's Inferno, the devil's maze. It's a good world going bad.
what's the DJ name?
DJ Ill Behavior.
Apparently it's the last time they're heading to Bonita Springs, at least for a while, so let's just soak this in for a second. Alright, now you're thinking, Rhino, this is ridiculous. Can we stop? What a beautiful morning. Day 2, let's go.
It's a good world going bad.
I'm sorry, the buttery intros, they just make me so happy. I'm dialing in here. It's getting exciting. It's getting a lot easier. It's getting a lot more fun. Seeing a lot of cool content like this. So today we are focusing in on part 2 of the Florida Association Behavior Analysis experience. This is not officially from them, but I caught a How to Conference series with attendees there, many of them patrons of this channel. So today we're talking about how to cut or save costs when it comes to conferences, because these things can be oh so very pricey. Oh, and there's something wrong with this situation. That's better. So my quick disclaimer, do these at your own risk, all right? Number 1, we talked about this in the last one. You can pack all the snacks. What's this?
This is just like the snack area.
Candy.
They have sandwiches.
Always keep them in your bag. I always have snacks, protein bars, protein powder, things like that. They're just quick and easy to go during conferences because you are go if you're trying to soak up all of the possibilities. There's sometimes events as early as 6 in the morning for like a morning workout with crews that are doing that sort of thing, all the way to evening social events and late night events. It can easily be a 20-hour day. Now, I advocate for do what it is that you're into. Obviously, like push it as hard as you want to push it and what your body can take. For me, I want to soak up my money's worth when I'm there, so I make sure that I don't have to go seek out food and things like that as frequently. Usually one meal with people in a networking event or something like that, and then just a bunch of snacks throughout the day to keep me kind of fueled and fired and going. I personally usually roll with some good old coffee. Depends on, usually it's Operant when I'm traveling. They're a sponsor of this channel. Now, I usually also have, a nice French press, but as you can hear, that didn't make it through security very well. So there is nothing great about instant coffee, but I always have some instant coffee with me just to make sure that I'm just like, woo, ready for that next event, meeting, or whatever. Talk, I guess you should talk stew, right? Oh, come on. What? Okay, so there's a few different hacks. When it comes to hotel rooms, I have packed up to like 10 people in these things. Now, I don't recommend it. I'm sure the hotels don't recommend it. We used to have this system to where the rule was everybody try to go and we'll figure out things when we get there. It causes some problems sometimes. Some tips regarding that is get a little like information beforehand as to people's shower times, things like that. Like you don't need 8 people showering in the first half hour of the morning. Like you can plan a little bit, strategize as to how to sequence with your colleagues if you're rooming up together and how to make that pretty smooth of an experience. If you have any bad habits or things that might be annoying to others, you can disclose those if you want and such. It just makes for a smoother experience in my perspective, but obviously you have to know them pretty well. After a while, you start to really dial in who it is that's kind of on your crew and who you're comfortable sharing a room with and who you're not, or sharing other things like an Airbnb and such. So on that note, Airbnbs have come up since the time that I started conferencing. They're extremely awesome, very cost efficient. I know they're causing some problems when it comes to hotels booking and these events happening. That said, there's different structures. Some rely on those bookings to help make the event happen. Some of that revenue from the booking helps them put on the event. Others, like the Next Gen series that we do, we don't rely on those, and we like people to figure out it on their own. We give some options, but we don't rely on them. So I know there's some different styles out there. Now, one thing I do almost always exclusively as soon as I get in, I'm making sure that I'm hanging up my clothes because I don't want to have to iron, or you can just do your ironing before any of the actual event starts. As much as you can get ahead on those tasks, the better. Always come in, set up the workstation, make sure that I'm ready to go in all possible ways. Now, if you have time, find a store, things like that you'll need. Maybe you got a fridge in the hotel like I have here to where you can stock up. Your goal here is maximize all opportunities while you're there to network and connect, getting the most bang for your buck. Now, sometimes you can present on behalf of your company. You want to talk with them way before the submission deadline about this, see what their policies are, etc. And if you submit to present, sometimes you can get some of your costs covered. This is in programs for students. I know that the University of Nevada, Reno has always had a program for this. And that's the one that I first experienced the model from. I don't know the details, check into your programs. Companies can benefit from this as well. Some of them will send people, some will send a lot of people. They are extremely costly when you're talking about you federally have to pay for your person's time while there if it's related to their job and cover their costs and stipends and things like that. So if you get those opportunities, cherish them. They aren't frequent and they aren't going to last forever per se. And you have to be delivering value to be able to continue to do those sort of things. As much as you can represent your brand, your company, and bring back extra value, work, resources, that has been how I've had some of those opportunities afforded to me. That said, not all of them. I have to do a lot of this travel on my own. Some of them I get, some of them I don't. I always think about it this way. What value am I personally getting out of this? What is my company getting, or the people that I'm representing there? And how can I maximize that for everyone and keeping it very clean and ethical? And reporting on what that is in some sort of objective way when I come back. And the more of this you handle up front, the easier it is when you come back to discuss what was won, the successes and wins and losses and such. Now, when it comes to travel, airfare, there's different hacks, tips. One app that I absolutely love is called SkipFlag. I look between that and Google Flights, and I search a lot. I'll search about 9 months before to get an idea of what the pricing is. I'll then search again about 3 to 4 months prior, and then I'll really search about 6 to 8 weeks out. I usually find this 6 to 8 week window being the best pricing for me. Not always though. And one thing I like to kind of consider and have people think about is how can you piggyback different things together? So for example, I went to FABA last week. I'm now in Columbus, Ohio for another event. I went to Florida, and then I went up the East Coast, stayed for a couple days in Gainesville, came up the East Coast to Columbus here, so I could go to this other event. Rather than having to travel twice from my hometown, Reno, where it is a bit costly to go in and out of, I had to travel out of there once on a nice cheap red eye, and then I had some hop around flights here that were very, very cheap relative to if I had done the other option. It's about a third of the cost. So if you think about how to structure your days and your times and how you can fly, you can really hack this price down. I've gotten better and better at this over time, and when I say over time, like over the last 8 years, it has not been fast. I mean, it's been a slow transition and into being able to stack more things on top of each other and cut that cost down. It's work, hustle, time, and patience. You'll get there. We're gonna jump in with Tim Courtney, get a little idea as to why he values conferencing, some tips he may have for people.
There's a lot of cost though, so for sure. So the more you can just be cognizant of kind of all the costs and Try to get your travel done early if you're traveling somewhere. If you have to fly somewhere, get that done early. I would, try to have that as planned out as possible.
Biggest costs are going to be your airfare, your travel expenses when it comes to accommodations and where you're staying, as well as your food. Tips that I like to do in just a nutshell: bring snacks, bring snacks, coffee, things like that you can just have on the go. Buy them in bulk, at your Costco, your Sam's Club, whatever, so that you have those ready to go all times of the day. When it comes to accommodations, find people that you can share living arrangements with if you're comfortable with that. Cut those costs. Maybe your organization can help you when it comes to the pricing of these sort of things if you're presenting on their behalf, networking or whatnot for them. You have to deliver value if you're doing that sort of thing, or else it's not going to continue to happen. And when it comes to airfare, search early, search often, and you will be able to start hacking those prices down. Remember, SkipLab, Google Flights, independent searches on all the different providers out there. That extra hour that you spend up front doing that can save you sometimes just an amazing amount of money. For example, I was able to go over to Ireland this summer and tag on some other travel to Norway and such. We're going to be releasing that content on this channel here pretty soon. And I did all that for a round trip $500 ticket from San Francisco over. It's extremely hard to find something like that. Lucked out, and then I was able to hack the prices through short budget airlines around after that. So rather than spending $1,500 like my other colleagues and family did to get over there, for me it was under $1,000, and I added on 2 other flights or countries. All right, so let me know your other tips. This was just a surface level. Tomorrow we're talking about how to be awesome on your presentations. We have guests including Aero Health and Wellness. Aaron is speaking on behalf of them, as well as Megan Miller and Tim Courtney. So make sure you come back tomorrow. I will have that one uploaded at the regularly scheduled time, so I will see you then. That's your Daily BA. Dig it.
Thanks. I'm trying to get my logo on everyone.
Yes,
That's
brilliant.
my plan.
Yeah, you succeeded. I'm pretty sure.
Ryan asked me to throw together a couple little tips for presentation. And so in thinking about that, I think I've got 3 for you that I kind of used. And
How do you get the confidence and get over the jitters?
I think the main thing is just be yourself. Like just know what your voice is, be yourself.
Florida's the worst. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I do.